Welcome to Assembly Bethesda. I'm your host, Hayne Fogarty, and today we're diving into something truly raw and real. It's a topic that hits differently when the lights are low and the world around you is quiet. The title of our discussion today is Night Psalms, Lamentation as Worship. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Lamentation as actual worship? It's a heavy word, isn't it? We often associate worship with upbeat songs, praise hands, and a generally positive vibe. But the Bible, my friends, gives us plenty of room for a much more honest, gut-level crying out. This isn't just complaining, it's a profound act of faith. So, let's take a deep breath and unpack this vital yet often overlooked spiritual practice together.
First off, if you've ever really spent time flipping through the book of Psalms, you've probably noticed it's not all happy-clappy, everything's perfect stuff. In fact, a huge chunk, like a third or more of the Psalms, are laments. These aren't just polite prayers. They're songs, poems, and direct cries where people pour out their pain, confusion, anger, and even the unsettling feeling that God has gone silent. We see individual laments, where one person's hurting, and communal ones, where an entire group is suffering. Think about Psalm 13, which boldly asks, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" That's straight-up raw honesty. Or Psalm 22, the one Jesus himself quotes on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" These are not censored prayers. And I believe that's precisely why we call them night psalms. Lament often feels like nighttime, those dark, lonely hours when everything hurts and hope seems incredibly far off. But here's the thing, the Bible doesn't shy away from that darkness. It leans right into it. It's an invitation to bring the mess directly to God, because it's still worship when you're still talking to Him, still believing He's there to hear it, even through the tears.
Now, what's truly interesting about these psalms is that they don't just dump out pain and stop there. They often follow a pattern, almost like a spiritual roadmap for navigating life's brutal seasons. Most laments begin with a direct address to God, something like, "O Lord," or "Hear me." Right away, you're putting your pain in His direction, not just venting into the void. Then comes the complaint, where the psalmist describes the hurt, the enemies, the feeling of being abandoned, the peers that won't stop. Psalm 42 vividly paints this picture, saying, "My tears have been my food day and night, while people mock, 'Where is your God?'" It's okay to articulate just how bad it hurts. The next part is usually a petition, a straightforward ask for help. "Save me, deliver me, how long?" It's bold. It's needy, but it's built on a deep trust that God can and will do something about it. Even in the middle of the storm, many laments shift to trust or remembrance, recalling God's past faithfulness, saying things like, "I remember your deeds of old," or "You have been my help." This isn't faking positivity. It's anchoring your faith in what God has already shown to be true. And a lot of them end with praise or a vow to praise, like Psalm 13, where after all the how longs, it flips to, "But I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord." The pain doesn't necessarily disappear, but hope, my friends, absolutely breaks through.
It's important to understand that not every lament ends neatly tied with a bow. Psalm 88, for instance, remains one of the darkest psalms, staying entirely in the shadows, with no grand resolution, just the stark truth. Darkness is my closest friend. Even that one's in the Bible, reminding us it's profoundly okay if sometimes the night feels endless. God can handle it all. Lament isn't about getting quick answers. It's about staying connected to Him through the questions. So why does this matter so much for worship? Because true worship isn't just about singing happy songs on Sunday. It's bringing your whole authentic self to God, including all the broken, messy parts. Lament is honest worship, declaring, "God, I believe you're good, but right now this feels awful, and I'm trusting you with attention." It's not doubting faith, it's living it out in the hardest places. Think about Jesus in Gethsemane, saying, "Father, if possible, take this cup." Then, "Not my will, but yours be done." Even the Son of God lamented. We often skip this, favoring victory over groans. Yet the Bible permits lament. It keeps us real about brokenness while pointing to God's hope, trusting His character enough to say hard things without walking away.
So, how do we practically bring lament into our own lives, especially during those challenging night seasons? It's simpler than you might think. Start by reading a lament psalm out loud. Truly make it your prayer. Psalm 13 is short, yet incredibly powerful. Or Psalm 130, "Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord." Let those ancient words become your own. When you pray, be brutally honest. Tell God about the pain, the anger, the fear, the confusion. Ask Him to act decisively. Remember His promises, even if you don't feel them right now. If praise feels utterly impossible, just end with, "I will trust you anyway." Lament profoundly changes us. It prevents us from pretending everything's fine, building deeper trust as we experience God meeting us in the mess. It connects us to countless believers across history who walked similar dark paths and found God faithful. And yes, it often leads us back to praise, not because the pain vanished, but because God is ultimately bigger than the pain itself. Even in the book of Lamentations, amidst raw grief, chapter 3 declares, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning." Right in the middle of lament, hope flickers brightly. That, my friends, is the pattern. Cry out, but keep looking to the God who hears.
In Christian life, lament is not the opposite of worship. It is unequivocally a form of it. It honors God by taking Him seriously enough to bring absolutely everything to His feet. It communicates that our faith isn't fragile. It can robustly handle our questions, our doubts, and our profound sorrow. Ultimately, lament points us directly to Jesus, who Himself lamented so that we could be healed and whole. So next time night falls fey, don't hide the hurt, my friend. Bring it all to God. Embrace lament as worship. Let the Psalms guide you through the darkness, and I promise you, you'll find you're not alone. Thank you for joining me today. As always, it is a genuine pleasure to spend this time with you. God bless, and until next time, courage. Head on over to assemblybethesda.com for more Gothic Christian blog posts, and be sure to visit my shop, where all digital products are offered on a pay-as-you-are-led basis. If you can't afford to help financially, that's perfectly okay. Just put 0 in the price field. My goal is always to bring you quality Christian Gothic content, including devotionals, Gothic Christian music, and much more. Thank you again, and God bless.